started. We sealed a huge deal with our very first enterprise customer. We were so thrilled and opened a bottle of champagne to celebrate. 2 weeks afterwards, I headed for a private vacation to Cuba. When I came back, I was so excited and curious to know what's going on with our very first enterprise customer. I went to my boss to ask him, and he told me that our very first enterprise customer was frustrated with us, and we almost lost him. I was so disappointed to hear that. And why? I was wondering, why? What happened? What was the big crisis that caused our very first enterprise customer to be frustrated with us only a few weeks after we shook hands? Well, the thing was that this customer ran every Sunday a process for getting all his data, collecting all his data from his different branches on Sundays. And we ran on Sundays, you could guess, our deployment with downtime. We didn't know that for this customer, the system must be up on Sundays. And we didn't know that on Sundays, he ran a massive load. If only our engineering and DevOps team had asked our field the right questions about these customers and get to know his routines, this crisis would have never happened. Today, we are going to talk about 6 mistakes taken from real horror stories that happened to me personally, like losing a customer, and how to avoid them. Hi, I'm Liat. I am 25 years in the software industry. I worked in different domains, different companies, startups, big corporates. Today, I'm the SVP of Engineering and GM Israel at own company. You probably heard that we are in a process to be acquired by Salesforce. Thank you. I love building software. And I believe that continuous improvement is the way for excellence. And I believe that in order to improve, we should learn from our mistakes and from others' mistakes. So let's drill down and talk about 6 mistakes that we should avoid doing. The first mistake is ignoring your end customer. Most of the engineers know about their customers. But the question, if they know the things that they really need to know, all the things that they need to know. Usually, we as an engineers, we know our customers' functional requirements, right? But do we know about our customers' business, our customers' routines, our customers' goals? Today, I will talk with you about few aspects that we should know about our customers. Let's start with the first two aspects. Business critical hours and customers' usage pattern. You remember my story for our very first enterprise customers? We were not aware of his business critical hours that actually were on Sundays. We were not aware about his usage pattern that actually running a massive load on Sundays. Let me give you one more example. If you have a customer in the retail area, usually they have specific days that are super important for them, like Black Friday and different other dates of holidays, right? Where the traffic is several times higher than the regular traffic. We, as engineers and DevOps engineers, should know about these dates. We should run performance tests. We should make sure that in these days, we don't run our maintenance, right? One more example of aspect that we should be aware of is customer type. Customer type, I mean federal customer, small startup, health organization. Each one of these startups has its own needs, his own routines, his own regulations. When our business plans to support a federal customers, we should know about it in advance. We should harden our environments. We should make our adjustments. One more aspect is business commitment. What we, as a business, commit to our customers. If our business plan to commit to our customers 2 hours SLAs for fixing critical bugs, and all our engineers in DevOps are located in Israel, how can we do it? How can you provide 2 hours SLA for fixing bugs in the middle of our nights? Impossible. We need to update our field about our limitations. One more example is security fix every week. Can we do it if all our engineering and DevOps team located in Israel and we are in a Jewish holidays? We must update our field about our limitations. I know that it's not easy for us as engineers to know everything about our customers because we are not the one to close the deals. We are not always the one to work closely on a daily basis with the customers, and we don't talk every day with the sales, with ourselves. But we need to create the right communication channel with our field and the right processes that we can update them about us, our limitations, and then they can update us about our customers. So we covered the first mistake, and now we know our customer. Let's talk about how we make decisions about technology. So the second mistake is prioritizing cool technologies above business needs. You know the story of Hansel and Gretel, where Hansel and Gretel are engineers, developers. The house of candies is the house of technology. The Kubernetes, the opposite. The windows are made from Kubernetes. The roof is made of Gen AI, and the door is blockchain. For us, engineers, new technologies are like candies for kids. But we need to make sure that we don't choose new technologies or use just new technologies just for the sake of using new technologies. We need to make sure that the new technology that we choose actually solve the business goal. Our North Star should be the business goal. Let me give you an example. A few years ago, I worked for an organization. We need to implement some feature to some customer. And back then, AWS serverless Lambda was a really cool new technology back then. And we were so eager to try and use it. So we decided to implement the feature by using AWS Lambda. 5 developers for 2 weeks. We made it. But then we realized that our organization infrastructure doesn't support it. We tried to deploy it. It didn't work. And we figured out that our DevOps needs to spend a lot of time in order to make this alignment and support AWS Lambda. All our work went down the drain. We need to make sure that we always evaluate the new technologies based on their alignment with the organization, infrastructure processes, and with the business needs. So we covered one mistake. We need to know our customer. We need to make decisions and to choose the right technologies according to the business goal. And now let's talk about deciding or choosing the direction according to the size of our organization. When we want to choose the direction, we need to make sure that this is suitable for our organization size. What is right for a small startup is not right for a big corporate. When I advise to startup, the first thing I do is to analyze the gap between the size and the stage of the startup and its infrastructure and processes. When a 5-developer startup decides to invest time in automate his development environment creation, this is overkill. Because in this early stage, the startup needs to invest time on focus on providing, implementing the solution and verifying market needs. But when the startup starts to grow, has more runway, this is the time to say, okay, now we have more developers, we need to automate the development environment creation. On the other hand, when a big corporate is dependent on Boris to create for everyone a development environment, this is underkill. This is a huge single point of failure. Because also Boris needs to take vacation from time to time. In this stage, we must automate our development environment creation. So we need to make decisions according to the size of the company and the stage that the company that we work for. Okay, fourth mistake, copy-paste solution. In our industry, experience is much appreciated. But a solution that worked for us in the past is not always suitable to our current organization. An experienced engineer is the one that has a lot of experience and knows a lot of solutions, but is also the one that understands that a specific solution that he really likes is not suitable for the current company. And I know it sounds trivial. Of course, everyone knows we don't need to copy-paste, but we tend to do it because we want to deliver fast. So we go back to the solution we knew in the past and use it in our current company. One solution doesn't fit all organizations. Let's take, for example, a full CI/CD. From a developer click, the code shipped to production. It is great, right? But for organization with big enterprise customers and not enough quality gates, not enough test automations, this solution can be very risky. We all tend first to go back to familiar solutions that worked for us in the past, to stick to templates that we knew in the past. And second, we all want to deliver fast, and we all rush to deliver. But when we are aware of this tendency, we less likely fall to this template and make this mistake of copy-pasting. We need to learn our organization before we make decisions and choose solutions. The fifth mistake is making decisions not based on data. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying gut feeling and intuition they are not excellent. They are, but we can't rely only on our intuition. And again, everyone knows that it's important to collect data in order to make decisions, but sometimes the data is not available for us, or it takes time to collect the data. Let me give you an example. A few years ago, one organization I worked for, we wanted to improve our quality. So we made a decision, from now on, we will implement test automation for all our new features. Reasonable, right? This was our intuition. But we didn't manage to bring the improvement we wanted. We didn't manage to decrease the number of incidents in production. So we stopped and we started to collect data. We collected all the incidents from the last year. We analyzed them. We understood what are the areas that cause what are the most problematic areas that cause the most incidents. And we started to automate the test in these red areas. And we got to the improvement that we wanted, 75% decrease in production incidents. So the solution is collect data, analyze, measure, and set targets in numbers. We need to pay attention that we choose our measurements not according to the data that is available for us, according to what we want to achieve. And when we measure, we will find things that we didn't think about. For example, how much time a developer wastes on a broken pipeline? I was surprised to hear this huge number. But measurements also have a downside. Measurements can drive right behavior, but can also drive wrong behavior. When we decided to, for example, measure our quality while developing, not in production, while developing, and we decided to measure the bugs that the developers open while they are developing. What will happen? They will open less bugs. They will fix their mistakes while developing. Did we improve the quality? No. Just less bugs were opened. And we need to make sure we don't optimize only the measurements, but we optimize, rather optimizing the real thing that we want to improve. If we want to improve our productivity, we don't need to focus only on improving the measurements of our productivity, but to make sure that really improve our productivity. And we need to make sure, because measurement has a cost, we need to make sure that the time we invest to collect and analyze the measurement is really the time, really save us time, and it not take us more to collect the data than the time that the measurements save us. I put here some list of measurements that you may want to use. Of course, it's not the full list, but you may want to use in your DevOps or engineering organization. Quality, we talked about it. I think the good measurement for quality is the number of incidents in production. NPS, it's net performance score of our customers and employees. It's the same question that can be sent every quarter to measure the satisfaction. Velocity of your team, pay attention. Velocity of your team is an agile measurement that count the number of story points or the number of stories, whatever. But this measurement is for the team, not for the management. For the team to know how much or how many stories that they can commit for. Pipeline, we want to measure every stage in this pipeline to understand how much time we invest for every stage, and then we can shorten our pipeline. Stability of our pipeline, also something that impacts our efficiency. Time to create development environment, we mentioned that, how much time it takes, because it impacts our efficiency, and more. The last mistake is building an unsuitable DevOps structure. From my experience, structure drives behavior. We need to choose the structure not according to what we are used in our organization. Yeah, it's always in our organization that this team is aside, or this team built under this manager. No, first we need to think what we want to achieve. And we need to think where we, as a DevOps engineers, need to sit in the organization. But first, we should understand what we want to achieve. So for example, when I wanted to create infrastructure across all the products, we wanted to create a CI/CD, we wanted to create the right processes. It's better that the DevOps engineers will sit in a one team together to create alignment to build these infrastructures. Because when they are spread all around, there will not be alignment. It's very hard. But when we have already these infrastructures, and we have the CI/CD, and we want to increase the knowledge sharing between DevOps and engineering, we want to improve the communication. We want to reduce blockers. This is the time to change the structure. And the DevOps engineers should sit in the teams, in the Scrum teams, with the engineers. So we should choose our structure according to what we want to achieve. You remember I told you that I believe in continuous improvement, and I believe that in order to improve, we need to learn from our mistakes and from others' mistakes. So today I shared with you my mistakes, taken from horror stories that I experienced. We talked about ignoring our end customer. We talked about the fact that we need to know our customers. I shared with you the story about our very first enterprise customer. We talked about prioritizing cool technologies above business needs, Hansel and Gretel. Don't be Hansel and Gretel. Choose the technologies according to the business needs that you need to achieve. Choosing overkill and underkill solutions, we talked about we need to make decisions according to the size and the stage of the company, of your company. Copy-pasting solutions. We tend to go back to our known solutions, but we need to pay attention to that. And we need to choose solutions that are suitable to our organization. Making decisions not based on data. We need to pay attention that with data, we have more power and we can make the right decisions. And building an unsuitable DevOps structure, we talked about it. We should think about what we want to achieve and then make decisions about our structure. Thank you.